Okay, now we are online, and good morning everyone. And today is one of the more crucial days, and I think we need a lot of time, and we have started a few minutes late, so hopefully we can go through this content. I think if I was in your shoes, I will try to pay more attention to today's session, because this is the bloodline of our business. It's about selling and listing and concentrating on sellers. I think the first I have always tried to teach in these sessions that we should look from sellers or clients' perspective, what they think and who they want to select. So the first video I will present is something that's prepared for a seller, and how a seller looks, who to call and who to select and who they will choose to work with as an agent. So let's see if this, the qualities that are mentioned in this video is something that we have, or if we don't, then let's try to have. Because these are the main criteria that a seller will consider when they call someone to list their property. Okay? And then we go from there. Hello and welcome to Real Estate in Focus. Okay, as I said, this video was prepared for the seller, but I think, as you know, most sellers these days, with their access to internet and information, they are aware of all these points, so they know what's going on. So I think time have passed when people were not aware about the importance of these things. But these days they are. So I think being a local person means that you have built your image, as I said, through farming or whatever it might be, that they consider you, that you know that local area. And that's why my emphasis is all the time on local marketing and trying to focus in one area, establish your brand in one area. Then people will see you, because I think people don't look at where your address is or where you live, but the image or perception that they have, that you know this area, this is your baby, you have sold houses. Have you seen that once you sell someone's neighbor's home, then they will call you, say, oh, you did a good job, sold this house, so then come and sell my house, because they will have more confidence in you, right? So it's important that you specialize in one neighborhood, and I think when you specialize in one neighborhood, you will be also aware of the prices, the sizes, what's going on in that community, which houses are selling. For example, if you know the neighborhood, sometimes a house being on one side of the street compared to the other side of the street may be different in price, may be different in demand. For example, in Markham, if you're west of McCowan, if you call, let's say, Richmond Hill, it's a local number. If you're east of McCowan, then it will be long distance if you call Richmond Hill. So just for that small reason, there might be a little bit more demand on this side, or because the schools, that if you're on one side of the street, you will be able to one type of school, and if you're not, then you will go to another school. So that's why focusing in one specific area is important. So the more specialized you are, the better it is, and the higher chance of you getting the clients to call you or work with you. About the plan for marketing, we will discuss in more detail in the next slides that is coming up. But this is part of your package, and it's very important to pay special attention when you're considering, because the clients generally want to know what you're going to do when you're selling their house. That's very important. So of course, your image, your brand, having a local image is important, but also once you get into their house, they want to know what you will do for them. Okay? And I think it's also this image, but that once you're a local person, they will think that you're not just going to sell their house, but all the features that come with the house. It may not be all internal, but external. For example, the transportation is very close, or the library is very close, or it's one of the best neighborhoods for some other reasons, because there is a good school nearby. So you will be more knowledgeable, and you will be more aware of things that's going on in that community. So specializing in one community will bring up the chance of you getting the listing much higher, as opposed to if you go everywhere and try to be everything for everyone, right? I'm not sure if you guys have noticed, for example, where Jasjeet is coming in Pickering, there might be a real estate agent that's very popular, but we here in Markham may not know him. Do you know what I'm saying? But in his area, he is the king of that area. And that's how real estate works. He has a lot of respect. He can easily get listings because he is specialized in one area. And again, within your resources, I understand that you cannot be king of the whole town, because some people are king of the whole town. But you can, I'm 100% certain that you can be king of a specific neighborhood, because people drive to their work, drive to shopping within a very small circle most of the time. If they see your listings in their neighborhood, if they see your pictures within a small geographic location, you will be the king in that area. and you don't want to be everything for everyone. So that's why focusing in one neighborhood is important. Now, I think we were discussing about when to buy, and yes, a couple of days ago. These days, I'm not, if you guys came to the last Saturday's presentation, as I was pointing out, there is a lot of material coming out in media about real estate these days. Almost every day, or at least on average once a week, some magazine, some newspaper, some other media outlet is talking about real estate. It is becoming a very hot topic. There is a wide range of opinions that it will not fall all the way 25%. I think this question will come, when should I sell? And this video is prepared for that purpose. And again, this is a very general, it's not time sensitive, but let's see if we can get some points from this video that can apply to today's market. Because this question probably might be asked from you when a client calls you and asks your opinion. And let's see if this video can help you to answer that question. Okay, my laptop seems to be a little bit slower today. Okay, any questions in regards to that video?
What kind of a market is it today? Buyers or sellers?
Well, I think it is, well, I will tell you my understanding. It's a little bit sophisticated. If interest rates was not a factor, then it would have been a buyer's market. Because, as I was mentioning in that video, real estate market absolutely depends on economy. And economy, as they say in real estate, it is location, location, location. And in economy, it is jobs, jobs, jobs. And jobs are not as strong as it should be. So that would have affected real estate. But because interest rates are so low, or probably the lowest I have noticed, like 3% for 5-year fixed, or somewhere close to 3%. So that makes it very affordable. As we were discussing, that affordability is not on the price of the house, it is on the monthly payment. How much can you afford? So that's why there is a demand because of interest rates. If the interest rates were not considered, we will be either in slump or recovery mode, not in a boom. But right now, real estate is in boom, which from an economic perspective doesn't make sense at all. Yeah. So the economy is not booming, but real estate market is booming. It's because of interest rates. And another thing that I mentioned there, that winter is slowing down, but sometimes winter like this, that the weather is good, or because interest rates are low. And also, I think the culture of people buying in the spring and kids going to school in fall, sometimes some cultures don't follow that and they don't care, so they will buy in winter because they think you can get a good deal. So all the things that are discussed here is very general. It may not apply in all markets, but at least it will give you some basis, some foundation to think about when you try to answer the inquiries from a client. These are some of the other factors that probably plays a role in selling. Of course, family is increasing, and the size of the house that you want to buy, there is a demand. But I think we have discussed about this, and so I think this is something generally that you should keep in mind, that real estate always goes through these 3 phases. There is a boom, that means prices are increasing every day almost. I mean, and then once it reaches some point, it goes into slump. That means things fall, and it stays in slump mode for a while, and then it recovers. So this is a real estate cycle. This cycle applies almost to everything that is part of economy, and real estate is part of that. So we might be in this red zone now, but because interest rates are so low, it seems that it is booming. Those are other external factors that could push the price up. Okay, so no questions? Yes, this one is important. No matter who says what, if you price the property right, it will sell in any market. Even homes are right now selling in United States. It's, if you price it according to the market, of course it will sell. Any property. Even in downtime, there are transactions happening. It's not going to be zero. Okay, I think from this point on, that was a little bit of background, but from this point on, we will have real meat discussing, which is about listing presentation and how to get a listing and things like that. So if you're a real estate agent, which I'm assuming you guys are coming from another brokerage, you know that the mistake we agents make is that as soon as someone calls us to come for a listing, we just sit in our car and run to the house and try to list the property. And generally we get rejected. They will say, you know what, I'm not going to list with you. Have you ever thought why you didn't get the listing? Maybe this video will explain why we are not getting the listing if we rush and not qualify. It explains why we are not getting the listing when we rush and try to go to the listing presentation without some kind of qualification.
Hello.
Okay, any questions? I just want to remind you that we are not yet there at their home. Oops, my presentation closed. Anyway, so this video is not talking about that we are at the client's home. This is before we go to their home. We have to prepare ourselves. You guys understand that, right? Mm-hmm. So unfortunately, a lot of us walk into people's houses and we have not built the atmosphere, we have not prepared them, and when we walk in, generally they don't feel confident in us. We have to set the stage, so that when we walk in, first of all, we will feel confident because they have already had access to some of the successes that we had, or some of the things that we can do for them. So mentally they will be prepared to receive you. But if you just walk in, you have not prepared the stage, you might have less chance of getting the listing. So this is the biggest mistake that agents make, that they don't prepare themselves and the client for that presentation. They call you, you just walk in and you try to list the property. So before you go, remember again, I'm repeating, we are still at our office. We have not even walked in their home. We have to do those three things. That number one, we send them a package. Number two, we call and follow up on that package. And then number three is that we prepare our tools that is necessary for presentation. And we will I think the slides were shown, but let's go over them again if you have any question. So the package that you will prepare, which will be part of your homework, you can take if you want this slide, or we will discuss at the end. So for example, if you had a just listed, if I wanted to be a little bit creative, it doesn't take a lot of time. You should have all the feature sheets that you had in the past for other clients, but also maybe prepare a feature sheet for them, because you will have their information, so you will show what you will do for them. You will also have a marketing plan of action. This is, I mean, a very fancy wording for basically saying what will you do for them. You will also have your just sold. Now this one is a 20 points that is prepared by Homelife head office. You can cut and paste. This is a Word file. This is some of the things that they have listed. You don't have to have all the 20, or it doesn't have to be exactly 20. It could be more or less. But this will give you an idea of what you will do for them. You can have access to this. If you don't have yet a login for homelife.ca, which is the head office website, they have a lot of these kind of material. They also have images that you can use for your advertisement. If you don't have a login, ask Nilo or Richard. They will give you the login for it, because each agent can have their own login. So basically in that package, you will have all these things and as much as material you can. Like for example, your brochure, things that you want them to be impressed. So you'll have everything there. Good? So basically all of the marketing material. I think you guys know who this guy is. He has his own list. But basically, as you can notice in these presentations, I am giving you different options, but you have to sit down and prepare your own package based on what you do. This is his list, and it's a long one too. The 20 items was from Homelife head office. This is something from Mike Ferry. Whichever, you can mix them up, you can prepare your own list, but this is just to give you an idea. Well, basically the first one was my list. This is my list. I have given you two other options which is more detailed. Okay?
Question. For example, like someone who wants to sell a house, and we have brought them a package and follow the steps. Maybe some other real estate agent has already walked into their house and close the deal.
No, that's not the case. I think maybe I missed to tell you guys that when you book the appointment, so you have already booked the appointment is already set. Okay. So for example, the guy says, please come tomorrow at 5 o'clock. I will be home with my wife.
Right.
You will just confirm the appointment, and then you will go and during the day or whenever just drop this package in their mailbox. So the appointment is already set.
Okay.
You're not going to do this first and then book once the appointment is set. This is just to prepare the stage for you to go into the house,
Okay.
to be more effective.
Okay.
You guys are following me, right? So
Now
then
I'm
you drop the package, and then this will give you an excuse to call them. The appointment is tomorrow at 5, but you might call him today at 6. And those 6 to 8, again, going back to that schedule, you will ask them, have you received my package? Of course, they will say yes. And then you will ask some qualifying questions. You just say, for me to just prepare myself. Well, sometimes, first of all, you will not have all the information because it's not listed on MLS before, because they bought from the builder. So first of all, you have to call when you're preparing your listing, because you have to prepare your listing agreement and the MLS data form. So you have to call them and basically ask some questions to be sure, because maybe they bought the house and then finished the basement later on. And you will also call because of you received the package, but asking some qualifying questions. So by asking these qualifying questions, first of all, you will build the relationship, you will engage in a conversation with them, but also it will give you an idea where they are at, how motivated they are they willing to work with you, how comfortable they feel, and then you might be able to prepare yourself accordingly. One of the most important questions you should ask is that if you're convinced what I present and you feel confident in me, will you list with me tomorrow? Sometimes in our head we think that if we don't ask this question, it is better because we are not pushing. But by you asking this question, it shows that you're a busy person, you're a confident person, you don't want to waste their time or your time. This is a nice way of saying that don't waste my time. But it is better to ask because they will feel more confident in you.
But most likely 99% is in.
Let's see. But it's still, yeah. It's still, it is better to ask but not to ask. So the second step is that you will qualify. Of course, as I was mentioning, asking about renovation is important because when you prepare your data form, you know that what they have done after they bought, like let's say 5 years ago, they bought, but the basement was not finished. Now they finished, or they did a new paint job, or they had a fence installed, whatever. You ask them here. The more prepared you are, the better it is, because a rule of thumb is that you should not be staying in their house more than 20 minutes. If you are staying more than 20 minutes, it means they will ask you more questions and you will jeopardize your deal. The faster you walk in and walk out, the best it is. Once they say we want to list, don't just shut up and don't ask any question.
That's true.
Yeah, but some people say, once they say, okay, I'm ready to sign, then they keep on going on, and then they might change their mind.
Yeah.
So that's why the more prepared you are, the better it is. The question that I presented you was my questions. This is Mike Ferry's questions. I'm just going to click, but it's very overwhelming to go through all this, but this is just there for your information. But I have given you just a gist of what you should do in a short form. And again, all these documents are in PDF. It could be emailed to you. They're also on all the computers. You can go and open it and print it or email it yourself, whatever. They're installed in most of the computers. Now, so the first thing was that we dropped the package. We followed up on that package. The third one is that please go with some tools in your hand. Presentation tools, your package, which we will list. Okay. So you drop the package. I will also, in the break time when I will play the video, I will go and show you a sample of the package that we have for some other agents that will give you an idea. A clipboard is important because you will take notes and you will look more professional. Calculator, of course, your CMA. You know about seller's net sheet. It should be filled listing form. That's why you will not fill the listing in front of them. You try to get the information either over the phone or from previous MLS, but you can go there. By the way, you're required to take the measurements yourself. You cannot rely on previous measurements. You're required to take your own measurements. You're required to take your own pictures, all those things. But when it is felt, most of the time it matches with yours. And if there is any modification, you will just do with a pen and then let them initial it. But if it is felt, you will stay less there, because then if you're not prepared, if these forms are not filled, if you walk in and say, okay, I will come back tomorrow, maybe they will call today in the evening and say, you know what, don't come tomorrow. Once you're there, you want them to sign. That's the best scenario for you. You don't want to delay that. Well, some people, what they do is that they go first and inspect, and then they come to the office, fill the form, and go tomorrow or some other time. There might be a gap that they change their minds. You know, people could change their mind. How many times we have walked into a shoe store, although or wherever, it was a nice guy or nice girl serving us, we were impressed, and then we said, okay, we are going to buy these shoes. But if we walked out and said we will come back, we never go back. Or most of the time we don't go back. Is it not true? Mm-hmm. And then we change our mind, or we go to another shoe store. Although in that environment, we are affected so much either by the person or by the environment. Whatever the case might be, we will just say, okay, we'll buy it. We will just sign the agreement. But when you say, okay, we will, although at the time you say to the salesperson, you have a true intention that you will come back because you don't want to carry this bag everywhere in the mall with you. But by the time you want to go back, you change your mind. You say, forget it, I will buy next time. Is it not true? Yes. So same thing could apply here. That's why felt forms are important. If you have something like a magnet, it's not very expensive. I think last time I checked, it cost you about $50 or $60 for 100 of them, that you just stick your business card on top of it. These are generic general magnet. As you can see, I'm not proposing very expensive marketing, but these marketing are impressive. When you give your own magnet, they put it on their fridge and they will remember you. And also it looks that you're an established agent when you give out your magnet in the package. Measurement tools, of course, you're required. Probably, I'm assuming you guys have went through this in your school, that you have to take measurements of the rooms. There are 3 types you can take measurements. One is with the tape, which is very traditional, but very difficult because you need someone else to hold the other side. There is another one, which is, I think, laser technology. But anyway, so you stand here and then you hold it and press the button. It will measure it for you. But it's not accurate, especially if something coming in between, it could distort the numbers. Then there is a third way, which I like. It comes with a wheel that you just walk through the rooms. Then that is a little bit more, I think I like that one. I don't like the technology because it's not accurate. And many times it gives you errors because I have tested.
Can you do all that in 20 minutes? That's what you're saying? Or
you should be able to do it. That's why if you go everything done and everything filled, you should be able to do that in 20 minutes. Ideal time is 20 minutes, but it doesn't mean if it takes you half an hour, you should not do it. But ideal time is 20 minutes. And if you have reference letters or testimonials, now this doesn't necessarily have to be in real estate. It could be from your previous work. Better to be from real estate, but if you don't have, you can ask your friends, or maybe get a testimonial letter from Nilo, for example, your manager, that have said this with her picture, or things like that. But have 2 or 3 of them. This is good because people will see that you have worked with other people and they have some good impression of you. Okay, so it boils down to those 3 points. With point 1, which is the package, you impress them. With point 2, by calling, and specifically that question, that if you feel comfortable and confident with me, will you list your property, you will build confidence. You know, this is your image, the package, this is the confidence. And then once you go prepared with filled forms and tools and calculators, and if you're buying a bag from Business Depot will cost you only maybe $50, $60, one of those bags that lawyers carry. Mm-hmm. Try to have that. It makes a difference. It is unfortunate, but reality that people look what you wear, what you have, what kind of bag you have, what kind of watch you have, what kind of shoe you have. So, I mean, that has less to do with selling their house, but people, unfortunately, that's reality. So you want to be up there. I will highly recommend It might take a little bit of dollar out of your pocket, but do it for your image. Okay. So now you book the appointment, you send the package, you call to qualify, you have your package. One of the things as part of your package should be CMA. Now for CMA, you have to consider these following items when you're preparing your CMA. Of course, we all know this is repeated probably millions of times that real estate is about location. So location of the property is the most important one. Same property in a Scarborough or Markham makes a difference. Even exact same property from one side of the street to another side makes a difference. So that's why you should be aware of the location of the property. Try to compare with as much as possible close property. If it is on the same street, it is even better. Because some streets that you're listing, you may not be aware it has a school nearby that people don't like it because it's busy in the morning with traffic, and at 3 o'clock with the traffic, and it affects the price. Or it is on a little bit of a major street that there is a lot of traffic. So if you have it on the same street, that's the ideal house. But then if not, then try to have as close as possible. Ideally, the timeline I prefer is 3 months, but don't go longer than 6 months. If it is more than 6 months, it's out of date, right? But if it is 3 months, within 3 months, it's ideal. If you can't find anything at all, it should not be longer than 1 year, but I would say 6 months. Of course, once we have the location, the second thing is the size, we all know, and then the style of the property. The condition of the property sometimes make a big difference. I think condition you will not know unless you go into the house in your first day that you're going to walk in, which is whenever the appointment is. And also, of course, the amenities and where there is a buyer supply. So you have to be also a little bit aware of the market. If the market is hot, you will price it differently compared to when the price is not hot. Of course, financing options like today, the interest rates, like for example in 2008, although the interest rates were low, very low, but financing institutions had problem giving money because they were afraid. So when I say financing options, it does not necessarily only mean interest rate, but also whether the lenders are willing to give money. So that will affect the buyer market. But I think other than that, the most important ones are the top 3, which is location, size, and the style of the house. Okay? This one you have done it in school. This is just to give you an idea. It's not accurate numbers. You know, when we do comparative market analysis and then subtract the kitchen or add the basement or a garage, this is just a general idea. And again, it's not. I mean, what type of, some kitchens they spend like 40,000. So this is just a basic general idea. But you have to keep in mind these things, of course, when you do your CMA, and you guys know how to do CMA. By the way, CMAs, you can do it either through Toronto MLS, which it has its own function of CMA, that it asks you questions and then at the end it prepares a report for you. Or you can sit one day and create your own CMA, which could be more graphic, more attractive. Then you can give it out to them. And before I go here, one more point about CMA. You know that because of privacy laws, when you're giving out information, you're not supposed to give the price and the address of the property. So maybe you can just say a house sold on your street at this price, but not necessarily the address. Because you could get in trouble because of privacy laws. This is another tool. On your Toronto MLS, this is available for all agents. On the top right side, there is a tab or a button there that you can press. It's land registry, and then you type in the address, and somewhere in the body of once it comes up, it gives you the evaluation by impact. As you know, all the properties in Ontario are evaluated or assessed. That's a better word, assessed by impact. So it will give you the assessment by impact, how much this property is worth. What I do, which is very helpful, So for example, if there are two houses on the same street and then the subject property is on the same street, I look at all the three impact assessments and see if those two sold at X amount, how can I compare it with my subject property? So this could be another tool helping you. Do you guys follow what I'm saying? So let's say if your subject property is evaluated at 450 and the other two are also close to 450 and they sold in the past 3 months, that means your property should be selling almost at the same price as that property. But again, it's not accurate because impact does not take into consideration probably finished basements or condition of the house or very high-end and expensive appliances or kitchen, things like that. But it's another tool to give you an idea. And remember, no one can claim that they can come, including appraisers, which are certified professionals to do this. Nobody can claim to come up with the accurate market value. It is tricky because sometimes the buyer will buy it for some reasons because there is a lot of emotions that it involves. So if you're there at the ballpark within the range of 10,000 or 5,000 more or less, you're almost there. You can't be 100% accurate. Nobody can claim to be 100% accurate about a property because each property is different. Even the one beside this property is totally different from, I mean, not totally, but it's different. It can't be 100% same, right? Okay, so this is a presentation that you can, this is just a template. It's a presentation. I will bring you the package that one of the agents used this, and you can use it for yourself. So basically, this is a presentation that if I was in your shoes, I will use this and print it, and one of the folders that are there in Business Depot that you can just flip through the pages and present it to them. I will bring a sample once I play the video. So this is something that's already done for you. Just change the picture and some of the information that you can present. And it also has this calendar, which if you print in color, that's better. But you will say in the next 1 month what you will do for them each day. So it could be as small as installing sign on Monday, and then I will do office store, or I will install a log box, or I will advertise. Whatever you do, you just list it here, and that's helpful because it will show that you will do something for them with this calendar. Good? And again, I cannot go into everything that's there. You guys have to sit down and go for yourself. But that's just, it will give you an idea. Okay, now I will play this music and then, sorry, music. Okay. Maybe I'm tired, it's the fourth day.
Coffee, yeah.
No, but I think we will do this and then go for a coffee. This is a presentation video that basically now you have all your tools in your hand. You're walking into their house, what you should do inside the house. So this is now really about the real thing that we are going today. You guys are there with me so far? Yeah. It's good going? Okay. This computer is a little bit slower today.
So when the fourth day is tired.
You guys are following that? Okay. So for your package, like one of the things we have already prepared for you is this, right? This is the one that you will drop with your package, and it lists what you will do. This is your team and some of the questions that they might have, and they will look at you. This will look professional. And inside this, you might have your flyers, your feature sheet, your just sold, and things like that. So this will be a package that you might insert in an envelope and just drop it at their door. You don't have to even knock the door, just in the mailbox or somewhere close to the door that they will receive it, right? And it will be something that will say from me. And once you go to the presentation, although some people prefer laptop, but I honestly prefer this. Now this is available at Business Depot. It's not very expensive. So basically this works, if I can use like a, this works like a folder. So you fold it like this, like a presentation, I mean. And then, oops, okay. So there you go. So then you're at the desk, by the way, right beside the, not in front of him, because he will be beside, right? And then you'll just go through this and then explain each of these slides. Now these slides are prepared by us, and also if you want to specifically get it from Susan, Nilo's sister, she can also give you the file and you just change. But also it's also on every computer. It's not exactly same because she has customized it to her liking. So it could be these many pages, it could be less, it could be more, but you have to have this when you go for a presentation. If you just go and they say, how much is my home worth? And then you'll say, by the way, she has it in an order. And if you just give the price, they will say, okay, thank you, goodbye. But if you do this, they will feel obligated. You know, this is just that they will feel obligated that you have put so much effort, you have come so much prepared, they will feel more obligated to work with you. These things, I'm not claiming will guarantee that you will get the listing, but these are the tools that will help you. Right? I mean, I'm sure if you have practiced real estate, you have already experienced that you went unprepared and you didn't get the listing. Because it happens. It happened to me. It happens to all the agents. We learn from our mistakes, but I'm just giving you some of the tools that you can use. And it's already done for you. Good? Mm-hmm. So any questions? Some of the scripts that you might use, I mean, of course, Mike Ferry is famous for the scripts. So I have those scripts for you. I mean, you can put it in your own word, or at least you can get the idea from here. But basically, I think I go with the flow, and I try to feel confident, and I want to just give this image that I can sell your property, and I will try my best, and I will give 100% focus. But I think this thing will give you confidence because you know what you're talking about. If you're not a good presenter, when you have this material in front of you, at least you have practiced a few times at home. So when you go and you look at the headline, now you know what you're talking about, right?
The package that you have, the seller's package?
Yeah.
How long does it take to get ordered and received? That one, that for, yeah.
Oh, this if you know how to use Adobe Photoshop, Nilo can email you the whole file,
right,
and you can just change your picture. But if you don't know how to use Adobe Photoshop, then you send it to us and we will change the picture.
Okay.
But probably if you know how to play with Photoshop, it's better that you do it. Maybe you will change something in this too.
Okay. Well, what my question is, let's say if I send to Nilo, get it done.
Just send an email to her and then she will send you an email back.
And print it? How long does that take?
No, printing you go with your own company.
Right. So how long does it take usually?
The printing, as long as it's designed, printing should be only a
Where you give, sometimes if you go to
they will even give it to you
same day.
Yeah, same day.
Okay.
Because this is just a normal printing, it depends.
But if we do the file, I can't guarantee because it depends how much time the staff has to do it. So
Okay.
yeah, but printing doesn't take too long.
Okay. That maybe will take a while. Okay.
But I think this thing doesn't, this just takes your time. You just go to Business Depot to buy this.
Well,
And if you have a color printer at home, you
yeah.
just do it yourself.
Yeah.
But I don't know how can you go to a listing presentation without this and do a good job. I don't know how you can do that. because this is a tool that will help you to say what to say and things like that. Okay, and I think that's why I think just right on this point, this slide, that 80% of your presentation should be visual, which this is visual, because they will not look at you, they will look at this. And even right now when I'm presenting, if I was going to present with without these slides, I don't think I would have been as exciting as now. I would have been boring,
Yeah.
right?
No, that's true.
Because you guys are now following at these pictures and writing and then following me. And now it's a 3-step. It is selling the industry first, and I will come up with the reason why I'm saying that. Then you will talk about your company and then talk about yourself. Because you will look part of a bigger picture. You belong to a bigger industry. You belong to an office. You're not just one-man show. You have a team. And bringing up the real estate industry, basically you will compare yourself, because even if you're a brand new agent, if you have some little bit of experience selling properties, you will always be doing better than average industry, because there are so many people that will put things in market, they never sell because it's priced high, or it's not in a good condition, or they're not as motivated to sell, or the seller is not motivated. So an average agent always does better than the general industry, right? So those are the things that you can bring from. Now, because part of this presentation is not these things, because this is something that can change in every listing you go. This you can get from Market Watch, right? The report that comes every month. It doesn't have to be something like so many pages. It just could be a couple of pages about the average or what's going on. It will make you look good. It will look that you're a part of a bigger industry, bigger picture. You're not just a one-man show. So it will help. And in the same way about your office, we already have pictures of staff here, which shows that you're part of a team. And truly, they are your team. Because without them, who will book appointments, who will confirm appointments, who will coordinate with the lawyer, and everything else that you will come, these guys will help you. So they are part of your team, and you can say that you are part of a team. This is more about you, and I think it comes back to the first day that we have requested you to prepare a bio about yourself. If you have that bio, you will help it. You will present it here too. That what you do and why should they hire you, and how your past experiences could help to sell their property. So, for example, Josh, you were in landscaping, so maybe that experience could help to say that I can advise you. In addition to other things, of course, I can also advise you to make your home look better, and that will bring you more money. That could be part of your bio, right? Yeah. Not the whole bio. And this is another script. So I think before we go for break, because it is break time, you guys know how to prepare CMA, right? Yeah, so basically you compare the subject property with the properties that are sold. They are probably the most important element of CMA, the sold properties. The ones that are in the market is good, it is comparable, you compare it, but it is, some people list it too high. Just they say, if I get this price, I will sell it, if not, I will not sell it. So the sold prices are more relevant. Sometimes, if there is no data, I might consider expired, but generally they're not worth much if they're expired. It doesn't show anything. The property could have been sold, but the sellers were not motivated, or they were not willing, or whatever the case might be. So the sold, and then after that the ones that are available in the market is more relevant. Okay, so do you guys think it's time to go for a break?
Sure,
I
sure.
think